She's the vampire everyone's been talking about? Uh-huh. That's our boss, all right.
Have you really not heard her story?
Well, guess I'll just have to tell it again.
Not Rubuska, but I'm gonna tell her story. So, this is her kid explanation. This video, I'm going to explain some of the things that we already know, but first of all, we do not know her numbers, so I will mainly talk about what she can do and how her rotation will be like based on the information that we already know. So first of all, insight 1 and 2. So precognition, when any ally loses HP, accumulate Bloodtithe. So no surprise, she is a Bloodtithe team and she is the Bloodtithe healer, which means she will replace Medicine Pocket, Ezra, and be the actual healer for Bloodtithe. So when Rubuska is on the field, grant all allies Shadow Playmate, which include herself, because usually if it's not including herself, it will be grant other allies, right? But this is all allies, so it includes herself. Then if the ally has Shadow Playmate, then they have probably another special buff, which is Shadow Attire. And Shadow Attire is a stat-based buff. And when it reaches maximum, Rubuska will receive a Moxie. So if you read it this way, and if 4 units have Shadow Attire and 4 of them reaches maximum stacks, Rubuska will gain 1 Moxie each from each character. So which means in one cycle of her rotation, she will be able to gain 4 Moxie. So which means actively she just need to gain 1, and you should be able to use her ultimate, because her ultimate will be best used when everyone have max stacks. I will explain about the ultimate soon enough, but basically everyone have max stat, you use the ultimate, and then after that everyone charge back, and then she get another 4 Moxies, and then she get 1 more, then ultimate again. So that will be her rotation. Overall, I think her gameplay will be pretty passive, and that the cycle for her to reach maximum stat will be probably 3 to 4 rounds, and she just need to use her skill 1 once, and she should be able to max charge everyone within 3 to 4 rounds. And for her insight tree, when entering battle, grant all allies blessing of Rubuska the first. And whenever an ally attack, Rubuska heals all allies. So she don't have to attack. And this is something quite similar to Fatutu. But instead of the shell moving and healing the party, any attack will heal the party. So this does seems like a good mechanic to put her into a follow-up attack team, because follow-up attack will be doing so many attacks, and you will be healing so much that your team will probably be at high HP most of the time. And for the explanation of her buffs, Shadow Playmate, any characters that have Shadow Playmate at the start of the round lose a certain percentage of current HP. A portion of the HP lost by Rubuska through this effect is converted into Shadow Attire. So when Rubuska leaves the field, Shadow Playmate is removed. So this mechanic is where she will increase the speed of Bloodtithe being charged faster. And Bloodtithe being charged faster means for Nautica, you can use her ultimate in shorter intervals. And if it's for Eternity, means she can ramp up even faster, right? So that is a very good mechanic that she has for Bloodtithe. Second, Shadow Attire, increase character max HP, crit damage, ultimate might, based on Shadow Attire stacks. So this is also really good, but we do not know the exact number, like how many percent. First of all, increasing max HP is kind of similar to shields. Because the thing what makes Keeperina very good is that she provides such thick shield that if the enemy do a very huge damage on your party, you will not die, because shield is like an extension to your HP. It's basically adding up to how much damage that a character can absorb before they die, right? So Rubuska do it by increasing your max HP. So This is very good for sustain, especially in some fight for Reverie. This will make her quite interesting in probably handling some fight where it's not meant to be. And what I meant by that is usually like you are fighting against an enemy, you will use character that have bonus afflators, and usually if you bring a character that doesn't have bonus afflators, and in fact if you are weak against the enemy, they will do more damage against you. But now if you have this additional damage and they're going to hit you really hard, but you might not die because you just have more HP than what you have by default. Okay, this one you can refer to like 400 meter dash 3, where you can use Keeperina and bring a full team of non-primal afflators, meaning beast, star, plant, or mineral, and Keeperina can keep the team alive, which is why Keeperina is really good as a sustain. So Rubuska might have that, and depending on how fast she can heal the party back through the healing per attack, so by the time you reach the enemy's turn, you are probably back at full HP. So not too bad. Okay, crit damage and ultimate might make it even better, especially for characters that uses ultimate a lot. And for the third one, Blessing of Rubuska the First. I think this one is pretty broken, and I'm not sure if it's phrased correctly. First of all, when the bearer take lethal damage, they will not leave the field and instead heal their HP. Here, it doesn't mention that the buff would dispel after that, or rather it's a stack base that you need some number of stacks. It seems that this is permanent, right? And they didn't mention that, oh, this only can happen once in battle. So maybe they will update the text to mention that, or else it's pretty much you don't have to do anything anymore, right? You just instantly win because you can't die. Or what I think might happen is that, similar to Shadow Playmate, Rubuska doesn't have immortality, so she can die, and if she dies, all the characters' Blessing of Rubuska the First might also dispel, so now they will die as well. So as long as Rubuska is in the party, they might survive. But I really do not know, because the translation is only as much as this. We gotta wait a little bit longer to know exactly what this is. Her skill 1, Midnight Prank, one target attack, lose a portion of current HP to deal relative damage. This attack counts as a retribution, so the damage scale with HP, okay, which is similar to Sentinel. Increase the Shadow Attire stacks of all allies and have Shadow Playmate. So I think like if you're considering the rotation, probably let's say an ultimate rotation is usually 3 to 4 rounds, right, for your main DPS, and you want to use her ultimate on your DPS because it boosts their damage. However, in terms of charging Shadow Attire, probably she cannot get the team to charge maximum in 3 rounds, but now you need to use skill 1. If you use skill 1 within the 3 rounds, then you can instantly charge everything. I mean, you are able to charge everything to max stacks, which will also grant her 4 Moxie. So +1 from using skill 1, perfect. 5 Moxie, she can out. For her skill 2, I do have a feeling something like Keeperina, you probably will not even use this, right? So this is a mass heal, restore HP to all allies, but it cannot crit. But it doesn't really matter because I think with the healing per attack, you should be able to be at full health most of the time. And I believe she should be played passively. So you don't have to actively use the healing, and her healing from attack should be sufficient. Because here you are looking at the Bloodtithe team, and you have Sentinel, it does follow-up attacks. You have Nautica, which also does follow-up attack. And then you have Samwise, which does follow-up attack as well. So everyone is doing follow-up attack, you will have sufficient healing, right? If you're not using her in Bloodtithe team, you put her like with Ezio or with Flutterpage, they should be doing sufficient follow-up attack for you to heal back to maximum. I do believe it should be like that. Because if every time she deplete HP and I have to use skill 2 and heal back up, she's going to be so AP hungry, I'm not going to use her. Okay, it doesn't make sense to make the healer to be this AP hungry at this point when we already have other healer before her to be rather passive in their gameplay. Then here, her ultimate, basically she consumed all the Shadow Attire from other allies and granted to the need that she targets, and that is of course your DPS. The reason why you want to transfer it, because you want to transfer the crit damage to them. You want to transfer the ultimate might to them. But here it states that the crit damage and ultimate might, that is additional, because your main character, let's say everyone have max stack of Shadow Attire. So technically the main character or the main DPS cannot gain more Shadow Attire. But now using her ultimate, she's able to transfer it, and that will give the main DPS more stats, more crit damage, more ultimate might. But it's not as much as the default value. So in terms of rotation, it's gonna be, she's just standing there within in the 3-round rotation. You just have to use skill 1 once. After 3 rounds, use ultimate and then repeat. As simple as that. For her team comp, no doubt she will be the best in slot as a healer for Bloodtithe team, and that includes Eternity, not just Nautica. So here you will have like Nautica, Sentinel, Samwise, and Bloodtithe. Okay, or Eternity, Sentinel, Samwise, and Bloodtithe. So for Nautica case, sometimes she need like 4 rounds or 5 rounds for you to get max 64 stacks of Bloodtithe, and then you sometimes want to do that because you want her ultimate to do as much damage. You can keep using her ultimate every 2 to 3 rounds, but if your Bloodtithe is not maxed out, she's not going to do the most optimal or max damage. But now with Rubuska, consuming everyone's HP, healing them back, consuming HP, will make you able to get Bloodtithe really quickly. So like every 2 to 3 rounds, you might already have 64 Bloodtithe where you can just spam. Alright, so I think that will be the main thing that she brings to Bloodtithe team and will make these characters really good, as if Nautica is not already good. And for Eternity, without the proper Bloodtithe team, you know she takes too long to charge up. But now let's say if you can get like 10 to 20 Bloodtithe every single round, so you should be able maybe to ramp Eternity up in 4 rounds, and by the time that she hits the 5th round, she can already spam ultimates. So this actually will make Eternity pretty good. Okay, I won't say that she's better than Nautica, I don't think that will happen, but she will be a good unit now with all this Bloodtithe character that speed up her ramping up process. Alright, so that's all for this video. I'm pretty interested to see her actual numbers. Yeah, for a healer, I always have high hopes on healer because they are so versatile, and usually we can put them in a lot of different teams, right? Yeah, so that's all for this video, and have a good day.